I'm teaching AI at Brown University and Risty for graduate students in design engineering and other design disciplines. I want to go through the hot topic of the month, DeepSeek from China, an open source AI model that does really, really advanced reasoning. If you go to its website, deepseek.com, it actually says it rivals OpenAI's model O1, right? So it definitely has been the headline news for the past week. Makes people wonder why the Chinese team can train all this stuff on $5 million versus the hundreds of millions or billions that we're hearing. But I do think that DeepSeek team has done some interesting innovations in terms of how they go about training their models. There are still many unknowns, so that's for another day. And if you want to hear topics like that, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to make a video about more technical topics. But today, let's just focus on installation. If you go to deepseek.com, you obviously can just run it here. It's free. You actually don't really need to do what I'm about to show you. You go ahead and register. I actually had problem signing up a few days ago because they had a cyber attack. And that's what prompted me to do the local installation process. So you're welcome to go ahead and use it online. There are also other online services that has the ability for you to run DeepSeek without the data being shared back on DeepSeek. In other words, these are online cloud services like together.com. You can sign up, you pay by the minute or hour. Another one that I find is fireworks.ai. Now, running it online, there is the beauty of all the data that you have localized. DeepSeek doesn't know what you actually ask the chatbot. The downside is the user interaction with chatbots helps such companies improve their UX as well. By installing locally, you're opting out. But the benefits of installing locally is you can find any new models, download them, and try them out on your own machine without paying any money. For me, in the short term, it will still be paying for a lot of these online AI services because I'm teaching and I need to try them all. So I'm not about to cancel everything yet. So for the instructions, I actually have a page that you can find in the link below. So you can go through that step by step, and I'm gonna go through that here. So the app we'll download is called Ollama. Go to ollama.com, pick Mac OS, and if you're Windows and Linux, you can follow the instructions yourself. Once you're done, click the zip file. You see the Ollama icon, double click. Ollama is a command line program, meaning there's no UI, no windows or buttons to click. So it sounds intimidating, but step 2 of this how-to would be to get your UI. So don't worry about that for now. Just follow through, go ahead, say open. I would definitely recommend clicking and moving it to your applications folder. I already installed it on my machine, so I'm gonna go do not move. I can show you the screen that you'll see. So you'll see, welcome to Ollama. Go ahead and click next. And what this will do is to install Ollama, the command line program on your system. Go ahead and install. You need to provide a password. And then once you click that button, it's gonna start installing Llama 3.2 open source model and start running it for you. We're not at the stage of running DeepSeek yet. So go ahead and do that. If it doesn't, what you would do is go to Applications, Utilities, and then you open that terminal right there. Then you see what I see right here. And it should, after you run that, hit finish over here, it should already start this command and a bunch of stuff is gonna pop up. It's gonna run the Llama model for you in this terminal window. So it's already running. I'm chatting with the Llama 3.2 chatbot. The 3 prompt in here basically says I can talk to it. I can send a message. If you do /?, it's gonna show you all of the commands. So you can do commands within Ollama. For example, I can say show. So it says show with a parameter info. It shows that I'm actually running Llama 3.2 billion parameter version and all these other things. Now let's do a test with the Llama chatbot. Why can't chickens fly? You're gonna see it's thinking, chickens are not capable. It's gonna give you the answer. So pretty straightforward, right? 3 plus 10 times 2. Usually, that's a good way to do simple math and check the AI. Some of them, especially the older models in the past year, often is wrong. You can see that it's actually trying to figure out how to do math, except it's wrong, right? It's multiply 3 and 2, and then add 10 to the result, which is exactly not what we wanted to do. What I wanted to do is show you how to install, say bye to the chatbot, DeepSeek. So let's open up. Now you can actually follow through my document here. We installed that one, we ran Ollama, and now you can see these commands. Once you get out, you're out in the command line. It might feel scary, but we can type Ollama. The program doesn't actually do anything because you need to provide Ollama plus one of these commands. What we can do is to say Ollama list. Now I already installed DeepSeek, so you can see the 2 models I've installed. Anytime you install more models, it's going to show up on this list. The other command you would want to use all the time is run, just like the one we did before. Now to install DeepSeek, we need to go to the Ollama webpage. If you go back to ollama.com, click models, you will see all the models that you can download and support. You can then click into any one of them, DeepSeek in this case. It has multiple versions. So FYI, DeepSeek R1 that the people are raving about, and the one that DeepSeek is actually running on their website, is the full-blown version. That's the biggest model, the most advanced version of DeepSeek. What they've done separately is have these interesting distilled models. They're based on some other open source models. So there's Llama from Meta, Quan is from Alibaba. The parameters is 1.5 billion all the way to 70 billion. If you don't understand these, don't worry about it. The key is that you need to figure out the right one for yourself because of the size. If you see the drop down box here, you can see like 1.5 is 1.1 gigabyte. So, it's a matter of how much memory and storage you have. If you go to 671, it's going to be 400 gigabyte, and you need pretty much a lot of RAM to run that. For today, I would recommend doing the 8 billion parameter version. It's only 5 gigabytes, and it's based on Llama. Remember, we just ran Ollama, and then the default Llama 3.2 was downloaded. This Llama version allows you to compare them side by side. So let's go back to my shell. Now that's the command that you want. You can just copy and paste from my thing. Run DeepSeek -R188. I already installed it, so it shouldn't download again. But for you, it might take a while. It's gonna download the model, which is 5 gigabytes before you can run it. You should be able to see this window down here, and I'm gonna ask it the same thing. And what's interesting is, if you remember the last one, it just go ahead and think and then give you the answer. What's mind-blowing about DeepSeek is if you see this think bracket, the tag in here, all this stuff is generating what we call reasoning. So it's fascinating to try different prompts and see how DeepSeek is talking to itself, try to solve the problem to answer a simple prompt of why can't chickens fly. That's the part that I think excite most people in the past few days. And then it gives you the answer. So that concludes step 1, which is to install Ollama. Now, we'll do is try to figure out how do I not have to do this inside this terminal thing, but be able to run it on a UI. There's an open source project called Open WebUI. The link is below as well. If you go here and scroll down, you see an intro of what it does. It basically gives you this OpenAI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, like pretty standard UI now to talk to the models that you have downloaded locally on Ollama. The one I'm going to show is actually the more painful version and more intimidating if you don't know Python. The safer version may be Docker. You're welcome to try it. So what you need to do is to install Python and then pip. So the first step is to install PyEnv, the Python environment manager, which allows you to manage, download different Python versions. I then type in that command and pick a newer version, right? So I have 3.12.8 as an example. Once everything's done, you should be able to run Python versions and see what you have set. If you only have one Python version, like I have on this pretty new MacBook Pro, it should be fine. Now that you have Python, it comes with an application called pip. If you just type it right now, it should work. It will give you all the options to install things. So now we're ready. We can go ahead and type pip install Open WebUI. If you do that, it's gonna install a bunch of stuff. At the end, you can type in Open WebUI serve. So this is what you need to do every time you want to run Ollama and DeepSeek. Up here, we actually have Ollama running in the background, right? So when you run Web UI serve, it's actually going to talk to Ollama and then be able to grab the models for you. So if I do that, a bunch of system stuff is going to pop up, open Web UI. Then you see it started the server. And then you need to go to your browser. You can type localhost and make sure you got the right port. You can actually just copy and paste and do it. Or you can type localhost colon 8080. So if I do that, ta-da, this is actually running on your machine. So if we double check, we have DeepSeek and we have Llama, right? You can pick and choose any one of them. And you can just talk to it. And then you can see the same thing that it's trying to do, right? This whole thinking thing. I just find it fascinating to watch what it's thinking before it actually gives me the answer. So there you have it. You're running DeepSeek on Ollama on your Mac, and you can add different models. As a reminder, next time, make sure that you have Ollama is running. It should be on the menu. And then you will go back to the shell. Then you can type Open Web UI. So if you don't do that, you're not going to see this. If you want to install more models, you just type Ollama run in your command line. After you go to ollama.com and find the ones that you wanted to download. So if I go back to Llama 3.3, you can see all the different ones and copy that and then be able to run it in your command line. I wanted to install another DeepSeek model. I go to DeepSeek and see how that changed. So if you find this useful, share with your friends and subscribe. I will be adding more videos over the next few months. The next one is most likely Stable Diffusion, creating images online and also on your laptop or Mac. We'll talk about new models like Flush. We'll talk about LoRa. We'll talk about Comfy UI, which is an advanced workflow process for create consistent characters. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.